Alright guys, I've just clamped the motor down to my little chair that I use for everything. So it should go. Whoa! Okay, this is the stuff that drives me crazy about the Chinese clones, guys. Look at that. How do I get that out of there? I need a direct 90. Now I can grab onto that with a vice grip, but that's plan B. Because the pump, we're keeping the pump, right? Okay, you guys aren't going to believe this. Look at that. Just one more on the other side. I haven't got them off yet, I'm just loosening them, right? This one could be a tricky one because it's in behind, up underneath. That's going to come. Okay. So they were only on there with about 10 foot-pounds of torque. Newton meters per second or something like that. So I'll get this pump off of here now, we hope. Okay, tubes, I'm asking you guys how they do this. You can't... It must be a special tool from the factory, or this... I don't know. Unless I'm losing my mind. There's no easy way to get those off. Because they come out and they touch here. Now you can undo it a little bit, pull the pump out, undo it a little bit, pull the pump out, and that's what I'm going to do. But that's just nasty. Last one. That's just cruel and unusual punishment, you guys. So I'm going to use a hex head or something for the new ones to go in. Well, at least I can put a wrench on them. That's just cruel. Should be coming off any minute now. They're not that long. Can you believe that? There we go. Huh. That's ridiculous. Now I gotta get the pump off. That could be problem number 2. Hopefully I can just tap it with a piece of wood going that, or my brass hammer going that way. Okay guys, it's coming, but I'm not happy. Gotta use some crystal blue persuasion. A new vibration. I'm not worried about the pump. I'm not worried about the motor, right? I just don't want to bend anything on the pump. Hammer, hammer. But it's coming. Gosh, we're almost there, eh? I don't like using sharp edges, so we use the wedge part of the chisel, right? Still not jumping off there, though, is it? Okay, I'm going to get a small piece of wood. It's off now. I just got to get it the rest of the way. Well, it wasn't pretty. A little bit of penetrating oil. We're still not done. I got a piece of wood in there against the flange of the pump. Gosh, it should come now, eh? You think? Change the angle of the dangle on the flange. Go some more. Use saw it first here on Bruce Pender TV. A hollow shaft 3/4 inch, 3,200 pound, 4 gallon per minute pump. I don't think I broke it. No, I didn't bend the aluminum flange. All right. So let's just have a break. And when we put this back together on the new motor, we're sure going to use a piece of some anti-seize on there, eh? Not antifreeze, anti-seize. You know, when I started my life as a backyard small engine mechanic, amateur backyard small engine mechanic, I did not have the tools I do now. But as I got older, I did. I bought them. I got them sometimes given to me by people I did handyman work for, or I got them cheap at, you know, what kind of, the discount stores. And then as stuff breaks, you get better and better and better stuff. So anyway, this motor should be free, little one. It is. Just going to wipe the bottom of it. And we'll tear this down later. Alrighty then. I'm going to clean this stand up and we'll get the new motor on. Cool! Okay, you guys have seen my pail. Well, in my pail is a pail. And in that pail is a bunch of bolts that I just keep good stuff, but it hasn't been cleaned yet. And in there I have found enough of these with a hex head so that we can just do that. Isn't that cool? Hopefully there's enough roundness there to turn the bolt. So I'm just going to go through the rest of these and get a little selection and put them in a little bag. Ha! And FYI, in this tray now that comes out of my pail, there is a plethora of really, really good things in here, like shoulder bolts, head bolts, mower mount bolts, fine thread mower bolts. And I don't know where these came from. They might be metric, but I keep the metrics in a different pile. So I'm just looking for the rest of these. Thanks. Alright guys, these are the 4 I'm going to use, and they're actually, they don't look it, but they are the same length, right, with an Allen head on them, which is stupid. They might even be standard. Isn't that something? 1/2 inch? Yes, they're 1/2 inch standard, but these threads go back to the old days, guys, because even the motors, how can I put this? Like the old Troy-Bilt Tecumseh rototillers used the same thread. So that's what happens, guys. Anyway, this is a 1/2 inch nut, and we're going to sand up the shaft on that motor and get it back on the cart. So that's just too darn cool. So now I'm just shining up this shaft. And I'm going to take the keyway out of this other motor. I tell you, when they installed this stuff at the factory, they didn't put anti-seize, and it just drives me nuts. Of course, they don't make them to be worked on, right? They make them to sell and get out the door. Especially nowadays when the profit margins are so small. There, I cleaned up the keyway, and we'll stick it in the motor. Hey, it's time to reassemble this pump. I've cleaned up the cart. We can take the motor off my little chair cart wheeler do hummer. This motor's ready to go. The oil's been changed in it and everything, eh? Okay, so we are going to stick it. I'm not 100% sure which way it goes on here. Probably like that, eh? Oh, that's kind of interesting, guys. We're going to have to turn the motor around anyway because the rewind is hitting the bar. Very nice. So we need the long bolts with the nylon washers, the 13mm wrench, and the 13mm socket. So we're actually improving the quality of our little operation here by putting a 7-horse Honda on there. And I'll just tighten those up. Oh, it's not threading right. Always one, eh? There. You need some air. And a hair ratchet. Set it on tight mode. And I'll be able to tell Alright, that just doesn't get any better than that. Now I'm going to put some anti-seize on this shaft. And in this shaft, I already cleaned it out with sandpaper. Make sure it's in the keyway, right? And we'll turn this to 12 degrees as well. Sorry about that, you missed it. It just slipped on. Now I'm going to put the 4 bolts in and we can tighten them up. We hope. But I am going to just turn you off and clean these bolts on the wire brush. Alright, I'm just putting the tiniest amounts of anti-seize on these bolts too. So that manager in the assembly plant probably got an award for coming up with that, and they ran out. There we go. It fits, everything fits onto the... Alright, now I'm going to need a 13 to tighten up, a half to tighten these up. Make sure the pump's kind of centered because this is it. And after we get this running and pumping, I'm going to change the oil in the pump. And like lots of other guys, I just use 30 weight non-detergent. So I'm going to finish tightening this up. This is no big deal now. Alright, let's do some cold weather washing. Alright, let's change the oil in the pump.